My name is Christopher Komuniko Natale.
My name is Landon Guzman.
My name is Liam Bodhi Kahanu Kohei Arakawa.
My name is Aniki Julian Ignacio.
We are Tuesday on Mars. So started with our bassist. I never knew if I wanted a band. I just started college for music business, and I was hoping I could meet some people there, which I did.
I was in Easy Music. I had just finished getting a haircut, and because there's a barbershop right across the street from Easy Music, so I had finished getting a haircut, and I was playing around on the bass guitar, and I was playing some Creeping Death by Metallica.
I knew this riff from somewhere. I heard someone just jamming it, and I was like, I think that's Metallica. I went up to the kid,
and then this dude comes up to me, and he's like, "Yo, is that Metallica?" And I'm like, "Shit, yeah, it is." And he's like, "Dude, I love Metallica. I fucking love Creeping Death."
Looked like he was about 18 or something, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, man?" Like, I just started talking to him, and I honestly asked him straight up. I was like, "Do you want to be in a band?" Because I know basses are hard to come by, and this guy was ripping it.
And I was like, "Oh, that's sick." And then this dude jumps on the drums, right? And so next thing I know, I'm playing Creeping Death with someone on drums, and he was like a pretty good drummer. And it just felt so great to like finally play music with someone, you know. I'd been kind of writing songs of my own and playing music and really wanting to be a part of something for like the better part of a year. And so, the opportunity to be in a band, I was just ecstatic. It was just the greatest thing ever.
So at school, I met Landon first, probably on the first or second day of school.
So Chris came to me in Honolulu Community College, and we were studying music together, and we learned about each other's talents in playing guitar and just composing music.
And we got along, and I really liked his style of playing and the type of music that he listened to. I thought he was a really good producer, and I loved the sound that he made. He made some cool bedroom pop indie stuff. Like, first couple days of school, guy was producing full songs already.
After a while, Chris came to me and asked if we wanted to join a band, and I agreed.
And then we were in the booth, just messing around, and then Aniki was a second year, and he comes in just to say what's up.
Yeah, I first met Chris and Landon at Mele, like our community college program. And I actually met Landon first. We had actually collaborated on a bunch of beats at first. He was a really good guitarist, still is to this day. And I remember him talking to me about like starting a band with this guy, Chris. I was like, I never met this dude. I don't know who this is.
Someone was like, "Oh, ask Aniki, he plays drums." And I was like, "Oh." I think either Landon said that or somebody else. Definitely, our teacher recommended me to ask Aniki to play drums for us, because I was looking for a drummer for a good solid month. Me and Landon and Liam were, starting the band, but we didn't really do much yet. We still needed a drummer. I talked to Aniki.
He's like, "Yeah, we're looking for a drummer, so if you need one, or we're looking for a band, let me know." And I was like, okay, cool. I'll let you know. And then as the semester went on, I think there was another performance that I did with this other group of people. Should I name drop? I was performing with Zach, Kennedy, and I think Zach's brother for like another performance. I was playing drums for them. It was a fun experience, but then Chris was there. And I remember Chris was like, actually no, a little bit before that, Chris was like, "Yo, I need a drummer for this band that I'm starting." I was like, I kind of pushed it to the side again. And then that same day on that performance, I remember getting off the stage after playing, and I was like, man, I love playing live. Like, this is really fun.
And he said he might be down, he's a busy guy. I was like, he's probably not, he's probably too busy. But then he came around like a couple weeks later, and I was super stoked on that.
And I told my family about it, like, oh, there's this opportunity to be in a band, but I don't really know how I feel about it. Because I had always like seen myself as like more of a producer engineer guy, like solo gig, but after playing live, like there's something different about being in a group together and playing, together. And when Chris asked me again that day, I remember he was sitting down, like, as soon as I got off the stage, he was with Joby, and Joby was like, you need a drummer? Like, why don't you ask this guy? And then Chris looked at me and was like, are you down? I was like, yeah, I'm down, shoot, let's do it. And then, yeah, I guess that's how the band started.
I listen to all kinds of music, really like anything. I like 90s rap, I like heavy metal, I like a lot of indie pop, bedroom pop, indie R&B, all kinds of music from the 60s, 70s. Led Zeppelin was my first influence.
There was a lot of influence that came to like the way we play within our music, because we all come from like different backgrounds, all different tastes in music. I play more jazz stuff. Liam, who does more like rock metal things, and that just accumulates to something that's just pretty unique that comes from all places.
So my personal influences, on the bass, probably my main three is Cliff Burton from Metallica, Paul McCartney, just super melodic bass player, amazing, and Chris Novoselic of Nirvana, who I just think is probably one of the most underrated bass players of all time. He gets no credit in that band. And so just like the melodicism of those bass players, and also just the really fast attack of like Cliff Burton is really cool. So that's kind of where I pull my influences from.
Dude, I don't listen to any rock. I'm like the furthest away from rock in this whole band, and it's so weird because these guys over here are like playing Nirvana and shit, and like I don't even know all these other bands I'm talking about. But Led Zeppelin, most of my influences are from hip hop and R&B. Like I grew up listening to like 90s hip hop, like Biggie, Snoop, all this like West Coast stuff. That's what my parents raised me on, R&B. But I've always taken a liking to like indie music and people like Steve Lacy, Tyler the Creator, people that make like a lot of alternative music, I guess you could say. And then taking that kind of influence into this band, I feel like it doesn't shine as much, but it definitely gives me an idea of how we should all sound together, I guess.
Whenever I write music, it's usually I want a certain vibe of the song, and then the riffs and the chords and everything else just comes from the subconscious mind of songs I've heard in the past. Ends up kind of sounding like them sometimes without me even realizing it. But in the end, we make our music as original as we can, as true to us as we can. And I think all music comes from an influence of somewhere else. Like, how can you make a song if you never heard a song before? My vision for the future, I always wanted to be traveling the world and playing on a stage in front of 1,000 people. I would love to do it with this band.
I'd like to keep going, I'd like to play shows. I think one of the things I've realized is playing live is just such a rush. And so I just, want to keep doing that whenever possible. Just keep playing to people and hopefully, going on tour would be great, playing around town and just, I think that's the main thing. Sell 1 million records, bigger than the Beatles, fuck it. I want to become Emperor of Earth. That's what I want to do. Make it happen.
I like to see the band grow as much as it can, go touring, that would be fun. But even if it has to stop locally, that's fine with me. I could say that I've been in a band. We had a lot of fun with the time that we had together.
It's to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. No, my vision for the future is like, I would love to go on tour. Like, playing shows, going to different cities, like, really getting out of the Hawaii bubble, which, Hawaii is amazing. I love Hawaii. But, all these successful bands and, like, artists are people that eventually make their way out of their hometown and they, like, go and play somewhere else, which I think we have the potential to. Like, you don't really see that happen a lot for, like, a lot of these hip-hop artists. Like, they don't sit in a bar and, like, rap to these people, like, trying to drink and stuff. Like, it's whole bands that get to play, like, covers or original music, and there's a little bit more of a vibe to that than, solo acts.
I have no idea where the future is going to take us, but we're off to a great start, and I'm very hopeful for the future. And I've said this since we've started the band, I was already hopeful for us. I knew that these guys have talent and they have very creative and original minds. And I think we can make it far if we put our minds to it.
Women.
Desk for Two is about Chris's girlfriend. I think it means to me just like proving everything that I've like worked up to until now. I think that's what it means to me.
Desperate 2 is a song that's about a person who wants to talk to a crush of theirs, but never had the guts to, But in the end, once they eventually get the courage to do so, they find out that they have a boyfriend.
Desperate 2. Okay, so I was actually coincidentally in this exact classroom when I was thinking about the song Desperate 2. Okay, let me explain what it's about. Desperate 2 is about when I was in high school and my girlfriend was sitting behind me in class on the first or second day of school. And I was kind of crushing on her. Talk to her friendly kind, like we stayed friends. And then eventually I found out she had a boyfriend. So I kind of just backed off and I was like, all right, do your thing. And then almost a year later, we met again and we hit it off. So coincidentally, it was in this exact classroom that I was sitting on the desk, she was behind me, and this is the place where that idea came from. And how we wrote the instruments, me, Liam, and Landon, our bassist and guitarist, we all got together before we had a drummer. We got together and on our first jam session, we wrote a chord progression, a couple lead vocal lines. I didn't really know what to say yet, what to make it about, but we had the instrumentals down pretty much on the first day. The second day, we got a drummer, Aniki. He came through, put on a beat on it, yeah.
The second day that they were all talking about when they came to rehearse, and I was like listening to them play the chords and like kind of play the sequence of the song that we have now, and I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Like, I kind of see the vision. I see what these guys are trying to go for, and I kind of like understood the indie rock music kind of influence that they were trying to go for at that time.
I'm really excited and I'm really glad with the way that the song turned out. Like, dude, for the gear that we have and the experience that we have, I think the song turned out pretty professional.
Very excited. I didn't think that I'd be playing with a band to release music. I always thought I would just be just music producer, just produce anyone by the beats. Didn't think I would be a part of the creative aspect of everything as a whole.
Oh, great. Amazing. I mean, I've been wanting to do this for so long, and it's amazing that people like it. People seem to really connect and resonate with it, and it means something to them, which I think is, what music's all about. And, I'm excited, really, so.
Nervous. Bro, I've mixed this song 12 or 13 times. Every time I went through it, there was always something that we all could pick out of it. And that's not to anybody's fault. It's more up to our vision of the song and how we want to do things moving forward, which is hard because it was our first song, and it's also a genre that I'm not too versed in. It's I come from a hip-hop R&B background. But I think I made the jump, I made the hurdles to try and understand the genre and influences a little bit better. And I'm really proud of it. Sounds really good for, what it is. And the response that I get from people that I play it for is just put the music out. And you're only gonna grow from discomfort, and you're only gonna grow if you just keep moving forward instead of sitting at home and writing these songs that are gonna sit on your hard drive for the rest of your life. There are countless songs that I have probably done now that could be put out, but I just didn't have the confidence or the push to finish it and put it out, which I'm glad I have these people for, because if not for them, this song wouldn't be done.
I'm proud of us, in the most humble way possible. I'm proud of what we did with that song, and I could not have done it by myself. I don't think either of us could have done it by ourselves. We all are how do I say it? You know, we're all gears in a well-oiled machine. We cannot work as a band without each other. You know, I couldn't have done this by myself. I couldn't have produced it, you know. Aniki did all that. I couldn't have made the chord progressions. Landon did that. Liam made the bass line that none of us could have made. Dude, no. And everyone's creative vision just comes together and they're like, oh, what is this? What is this? This would be good if we add this. This would be good if we add this. And it's stuff I never would have thought of. But how I feel about the song releasing, I'm very excited. I honestly don't have huge hopes for it. It's our first song, but I want to hope as high as I can because we have friends and family and people that we know will listen to our stuff. So we can start there.
Number one on Billboard Top 100. Number one on Billboard Top 100. You gotta manifest that shit.
Oh, we'll get there.
That's right.
You know, honestly, it's just that for our first song, a lot of luck. But it's a great song, and I think if it has the right exposure, it'll do amazing.